So there I was parked in front of house number 42 minding my own business, letting the truck run, while I prepped the tools, checked the hoses, and grabbed my phone to call the client, normal stuff that blue-collar people do when out on a job to keep this country running. When suddenly I hear this cough behind me, and not the I need a lozenge kind. No, this was the passive-aggressive kind that comes wrapped in judgment and gluten-free superiority. I turned around, and there she was. Blonde ponytail, arms crossed, AirPods, and face twisted like she smelled something expensive going bad, and an expression that said I was personally destroying the planet with every ounce of diesel flowing through my truck. You know the type. "Excuse me," she says without even a hello or a wave or any trace of a soul. I say, "Morning, ma'am, you need something." "This is a quiet zone," she snaps. I look around at the completely average suburban neighborhood, where kids are playing down the street, some guy is mowing a lawn at full throttle, and 2 dogs are barking like they're in a competition. "Quiet zone," I say with a chuckle, not really getting the joke yet. "Yes," she says, pointing to this sign that honestly looks like she printed it herself at Kinko's and laminated in passive-aggressive rage. It says, "No idling. This area is monitored by Karen's truck tracker." She adds like she's an FBI agent instead of the president of the Nosy Neighbor Coalition. Now let me tell you something about truck trackers. They don't exist. Not like this. Not with Karen's name on it. I blink at the sign, which has a cartoon picture of a truck with a giant speaker crossed out, and some fine print about noise violations reported by Karen. I say, "Ma'am, this is a work vehicle, and I'm on a scheduled job. You can call the company if you need confirmation." "I already did," she says smugly, holding up her phone. "I left a voicemail explaining that you were endangering the soundscape of our neighborhood." "The soundscape?" I ask, like I'm supposed to know what that even means. "Our community strives for harmonious decibel levels, and your truck is disrupting the peace." "Lady," I say, "it's an air compressor, not a war crime." She huffs and pulls out a notebook and starts scribbling furiously, probably writing a novel titled "The Day the Diesel Engine Betrayed Me." "I have measured the idling at approximately 73 decibels, she announces, which is above the limit outlined in our unofficial HOA guidelines. Unofficial guidelines, I repeat with a laugh. "They're enforceable if you believe in order," she says like she's quoting a villain in a superhero movie. Now keep in mind, I'm just trying to finish my work, maybe fix this guy's irrigation system, and go home to a sandwich in peace and quiet that I definitely won't get here. I lean against the truck and say, "Ma'am, with all due respect, this is a public street. I'm a licensed contractor, and your imaginary truck tracker is not legally binding." She narrows her eyes and jabs a finger at my exhaust pipe, which is barely puffing out anything more than warm breath at this point. "Every second you idle, another butterfly dies." What I say? It's a metaphor. "Sure it is," I mumble, and turn back to the truck, pretending to check something, just so I don't laugh right in her aura. And then she says, "If you do not shut it off, I will be forced to escalate." I say, "What are you going to do, find me?" "Actually, yes." She pulls out a printed form titled "Notice of Engine Noise Violation, Offender, Name Blank, Vehicle Description, Loud Offense, Continued Presence Despite Fair Warning." She starts filling it out with the grace of a judge and executioner in one woman. I say, "You made your own citations." "Enforcement begins at home," she declares. Then she slaps the form onto my windshield and takes a picture with her phone like she's building a case for the next neighborhood tribunal. That's when the homeowner comes out. "Hey Jim," I call over, "can you please explain to this lovely neighbor that I'm here to fix your sprinkler and not destroy her personal rainforest?" Jim waves at her and says, "Oh hi Karen, don't mind her, she filed a noise complaint on my mailbox once." "My mailbox?" I ask. "It creaked too loudly at night. She said it gave her anxiety." Karen glares at both of us like we've conspired against the planet and her personal constitution. "I will be watching," she says, backing away into her tulip garden like a ninja of noise control. And just like that, she disappears behind a bush, whispering into her phone and snapping more photos like she's on safari. I go back to work and let the truck run out of spite and habit. And that, my friend, is how my day started. But oh, it gets worse. So I'm about halfway through the job, maybe fixing a busted valve, maybe tightening something that someone definitely broke by mowing over it with zero regrets, when I hear footsteps again. The kind that stomp like they're morally superior. I turn and there she is again, arms crossed this time, wearing noise-canceling headphones and holding a printed chart that looks suspiciously like it came from a website about whale conservation. "Eve conducted a full sound audit," she says, "without a trace of humor. Your truck idled for 32 minutes and 17 seconds. That violates the Community Peace Protocol." Community Peace Protocol? I say, you guys really have a lot of made-up rules around here, huh? "It's not made up if it's printed," she snaps, holding up the chart like it's the 10 Commandments. I point to the road and say, ma'am, there's a landscaping crew 2 blocks over with 3 leaf blowers and a mulcher going full throttle. They're scheduled, she replies. I raise an eyebrow. I run the calendar, she adds. Of course you do. Then she starts setting up what looks like a tiny folding desk right there on her lawn, pulls out a sign that says Karen's Quiet Command Center, and places a cone near my truck like she's redirecting traffic. I say, ma'am, are you setting up a noise checkpoint? This is a Harmony enforcement post, she says with full confidence. I'm about to respond when she pulls out a tiny hand bell and rings it 3 times. That signals you've exceeded the vibration threshold. Vibration threshold, I repeat, wondering if I should just take a long walk into the river and let nature take me. Your engine reverberations are causing sonic distress to my dog. I glance at her front yard, where a very sleepy golden retriever is laid out like a rug, completely unbothered by anything except maybe gravity. He looks at me with eyes that say, please don't involve me in this. I say, ma'am, the dog seems fine. He's learned to cope, she says solemnly. Then she pulls out a petition clipboard, yes, another clipboard, and says, I have collected 14 signatures to limit all vehicle idling to under 5 seconds in our street. I look at the sheet. Every single signature is her name written in different fonts. Karen W, Karen A, Karen B. One says Karen W for Wales. I say this isn't a petition, it's a cry for help. The truck is a pollutant, she says, and I demand it be replaced with a quieter model or relocated to another dimension. Jim, the homeowner, pokes his head out again. Everything okay, he asks. Karen points at him and says, you will also be receiving a warning for authorizing noise facilitation. I say, Karen, are you implying he's an accessory to my idling? You said it, not me. Then she pulls out a whistle, blows it, and loudly says, noise strike 1. I say, if this is strike 1, what happens at strike 3? I bring out the cardboard protest signs. Sure enough, she has them ready behind her bush. Hand-painted signs that say things like silence is golden, engines are not, and trucks kill tranquility. One even says, don't be a diesel devil, with a cartoon of what I assume is me breathing fire. I can't anymore. I genuinely laugh, and she gets flustered. Laughter is also disruptive, she says, marking something in her little book. At this point, I wrap up the job faster than ever, load my gear back into the so-called pollutant, and finally shut it off just to escape her wrath. She steps forward victorious, like she's just won a court case. Thank you for restoring peace, she says. May harmony return to our street. As I drive away, I see her gently caress her no idling sign and give it a little nod like a war hero returning home. And the funniest part, the very next house on my schedule is across the street. So I park there, turn the truck back on, and wait.